Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Anarchy Online. A few things have happened since the last episode. I believe this is now episode 17. We're in Old Athens, and I've got a few missions queued up, so we're gonna talk while we run to these next missions. Where are we going? Alright, I guess let's do this one. This one is a kill person. Oh, yeah, just for a nano. So, we are currently level 24. We're going east. We are currently level 24. Do I still have a false profession running? I don't think so. So, check this out. False profession adventurer. Sparrow flight. Oh yeah. So except for the little sort of head bob, which is sometimes a little annoying, we now can fly around. So this makes life a lot easier for getting to missions. Because, well, first of all, you can bypass like all the terrain, which is sort of annoying and in the way. But more importantly, a lot of times you have very dangerous enemies. You might, the mission might be in an area that's surrounded with higher level enemies. And in fact, I got killed again, but I'll get to that in a minute. When we last left off, I was in the subway, and I was, just gaining a bit of experience. Since then, I think a day or two has passed. So I actually just recently redid the subway mission. You can tell here, I guess it was a few hours ago because it's in 18, so I guess 3.5 hours ago, I went to the subway again. And again, just to get more experience, because why not? Actually, I needed to get one more level because I was short a few points in one of the nano skills to cast this sparrow flight. And so I prefer getting experience. I mean, obviously, if you just want to get experience, then the quickest way to do it is just to grind, in the subway or something like that. But I prefer getting it through doing missions, because then we're getting tokens, and also I can accumulate all the nanos that I am trying to get, right? But before I started rolling a whole bunch of missions, I wanted to get Sparrow Flight because it will make getting to those missions a lot less of a pain. At low levels, there's this weird... So I'm rolling the missions in the Wailing Wastes, which is over here. And over here, I'm rolling the missions here. So usually it's giving me missions like in this general area around Old Athens, which is reasonable to get to. Let me just double check. This is a kill person mission. Okay, just so I know. Which is, it's manageable. For, especially if you have a run speed buff, or in this case, when I've got the flight form. So anyway, so that was the plan. I went to the subway, got a level. In terms of research, we're almost done. We've only got one left, and then it will be pure experience. So we'll start leveling quite quickly. Let's see, what else has changed? Oh, I need to remember to talk to you guys about some things I've learned about... some important details that I've learned about false profession and different buffs that I was planning to use. In fact, let's talk about that now. So, I've talked a lot since the beginning of the Let's Play about my plans for what false professions I was planning to use, and, what buffs that was going to give me, and all of that. So I've, done a bit more research, if you will, and basically this is sort of what I suspected, but now it's confirmed. Several of the lines of buffs that I was interested in using don't stack with a lot of the agent buffs. So basically all the crit buffs, like that I was thinking of using from the martial artist, they obviously don't stack with the agent crit buffs. Nor do they stack with the adventurer crit buff, which is the pronouncement of greatness. In fact, why don't I show you, because we're indoors, so I can show it to you now. This is pronouncement of greatness. There you go. We're elite. We are awesome. We are literally elite. Oh, I don't think I have my actions running. Let's turn those on. we turned on? Oh, I think it didn't register. So yeah, so being so the pronouncement of greatness buff is one of the problems is it's hard to tell when you're sitting. Oh, I wasn't targeting myself. That's why it's not working. Maybe I can't tell if it's lag or not sitting down. So pronouncement of greatness is an adventure morph. It scales the buff that you get scales with your level, and at my level currently, it's just buffing a bit of concealment and a bit of run speed, but it's not actually giving me a crit buff. So I mean, I'm gonna turn it off because it's I actually find it a little annoying. Now, if it gave a crit buff, though, it wouldn't be stacking with the agent crit buff, which I don't have yet. The agent crit buff is not the total concentration that I'm using. That's a special sort of short-term crit buff. So anyway, so that's one thing to keep in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is, so the damage nanos. So I was running a false profession fixer. I was using a damage nano, but that will not stack with the agent damage buff, and most of the damage buffs don't stack together. However, there is one that does stack. For example, there's a martial artist one. It's special though because it deactivates all of your nano, like your ability to use nano programs for like 15 seconds. So that one does stack. So there's still some potential in using martial artist false profession. Similarly, adventurer is still useful because even though pronouncement of greatness wouldn't stack, there are, once you get at slightly higher levels, oh, I thought there was an enemy here. There are, once you get to slightly higher levels, there are other shapeshift, right? There's one that's more defensive, which is less interesting, but starting at 230 or 250, I forget. There's like a cat or a tiger or something that adds damage. There's also a damage buff. So, and plus as adventurer, we're going to get heals. So that could definitely be a promising one to play as. So yeah, so just I just want to share that information with you, that I am aware that there are a lot of these buff lines that don't stack, right? That you can't use a lot of them. Anyway, so for now, I'm mainly using the adventure false profession for the getting around between the missions, and I don't yet have a heal. I mean, obviously, if I had money, I would just buy them in the shops. I don't yet have a heal, and so that's why I'm rolling a bunch of missions now to sort of fill out my nano program library so I can have the useful nanos when I need them. Oh, here's a temporary buff of the eagle. I forget what the eagle does. Blessed by the eagle gives you evades. Sure, why not? Okay, another thing, some of you might notice that I'm using a different weapon now. So, for a long time, we were using this illegally modified OFAB Cobra. This is a drop from the subway, although actually somebody gave me this weapon. But I could have, in fact, I picked up like 3 more of them while I was in the subway, so they're not hard to get. It is, for the skill requirement, right? It only requires 150 rifle skill. It is an incredibly powerful weapon. It's a fantastic weapon. No doubt about it. However, I'm already, like, my rifle skill with only self-buffed, and this is, I'm not even running false profession trader with drains or anything like that, just like pure skill. I'm already at 207, right? So theoretically, like, I could be running with a much, much higher quality level rifle. And if I had the resources, then that's exactly what I'd be doing. I would take one of my higher level characters and blitz a mission that had a high quality rifle. Now, but we're not doing that this Let's Play, right? Now, the rifle that I am currently using, so what I did is when I was maybe a couple levels ago, I rolled a maximum difficulty mission, which at the time was level 42. And I've got ClickSaver set to find a few specific kinds of rifles. So there is the standard rollable rifle, and when I say rollable, it means that you can get it as a mission reward. The standard one for agents, which is kind of considered to be the it actually is one of the best rifles. Is called a Caterwall. Caterwall 913. So I have that in my. I should. Do I have the buff for breaking and entering? Let me just check. Yeah, let's run this buff. So there's a standard choice is something called a Caterwall. But at low levels, before you get to... There we go, we finally got that open. Another good option is a rifle called the Gripocom. Now, the Gripocom only exists... Alright, I just gotta be careful I don't run into the guy who ends the mission yet, because I want to get my chance to 100 before we end the mission. So, the Gripocom only exists up to quality level 50. At quality level 50, it is a very... It changes. So, the Gripocom is a Gripocom AKR... I'll just show you the weapon here. This is the weapon. So it's a Gripocom AKR 1K20. Now, at level 50, this is a quality level 42. At level 50, it changes. It becomes a 1K21, and it becomes a buffing rifle, which is actually amazing. It's a great weapon. Let me just bring up the stats because I don't want to lie to you, but I think it buffs... Yeah, it buffs agility by 15 and aimed shot by 15, which is fantastic, right? But even the normal version of the weapon is pretty good. So this is a quality level 42. It takes a bit more skill to use, but not much. Not a huge difference compared to the OFAB that I was using before. Let's see if we can put these side by side. I don't know if I can... I think there is a way. Yeah, if I pin this, then I should be able to... No, it doesn't. Well, anyways, you can see this one is doing 5 to 35 DPS with an extra 20 on the crits. Whereas the Gripocom is doing 2 to 35, so basically the same, but with an extra 100 on the crits. So basically the average damage of these two rifles is pretty similar, but this rifle has really powerful crits. Now, as an agent, that's a pretty good, how can I say, that's a good choice to make, because as an agent, you've got all these buffs that buff your crit, right? And especially total concentration, which I have not been using yet in this mission, because I just kind of wanted to show you how awesome it is and how powerful it is. But yeah, as an agent, going for crit-based weapons is totally viable. Much more viable than for other professions, right? Where you're just not going to have a great chance of critting, right? Unless you have the appropriate buffs. So this is basically a crit setup. Now, of course, I don't have any... Okay, so there's a target. I don't want to shoot him yet. So hopefully... Well, let's just go in here. So I'm going to... So here, if I turn on total concentration, look at that crit. Almost one-shot him. Let's see if I can get another guy. No, that's locked. I think I just wasted. I wasn't able to get this shot in time. Yeah, and plus I got some lag. Well, anyways, normally you can get about 4 shots. Why is none of this firing? That's weird. I guess I got a bit of flag in there. So normally you can get about 4 shots in with total concentration. And this weapon, you know, my normal shots are in the sort of 50s, but the crits are like 450, right? So this is, in combination with total concentration, this is a very powerful weapon. So we've changed to this weapon. And now the Caterwall is not specifically a crit weapon. At least I don't think it is. I don't remember, honestly. Maybe... So now I'm level 24. I'm about to be level 25. I might roll a couple... I might try... Let's see, Ring of Power Elements. Nah, we don't need that. What I might try to do is... When I roll missions, this mission that I rolled, I didn't roll it super easy like I was rolling the missions earlier. I rolled it like a few levels above, but you can tell the mobs are still yellow, so it's not a particularly challenging mission. I could definitely handle a tougher mission, but I don't need particularly high level nanos, so I just need the nanos. So more lower level missions, are just as suitable for me. When I roll missions, I'm not rolling the maximum difficulty missions because I can't yet take on a maximum difficulty mission. I can, however, blitz them, which just involves running through the mission and getting the win condition without killing any of the mobs. That is how I got this weapon, and in fact I died right after I picked up the thing because there were these guard dogs and they were just murdering me. But I got the rifle, and that's what counts, right? So yeah, you can totally... And I don't even have any heals yet, right? So if you are like a fixer with run speed and hots, or a doctor, it's very easy to blitz missions, even if the mobs are very tough and punching you hard. How are we doing here? 90%. Good. One more guy. That's going to be tricky, because the guy we need to kill is right over there. I guess maybe he's not aggressive, so that's nice. Did I get aim shot? Yeah. Aim shot crit, thank you very much. For some reason he runs out. Who knows what he's doing? Yeah, so what I'm probably going to be doing as I roll these missions is, do a few missions close to my level to, basically accumulate the nanos that I need. And then once in a while, I'm going to roll a maximum level mission. Alright, so I got the mission ending guy, but first... we're going to kill this guy, and I think we can... Here, let's total concentration this. Crit. Crit. And we should get 2 more crits here. Crit and crit. There you go. So that's the power of that setup, right? 4 shots, 2 kills. Yeah, pretty cool. So I'm going to run every few levels. I'm going to roll a maximum level mission specifically for a weapon upgrade. I'm limited by, how high a level mission I can roll based on my character's level. If you had a higher level character, then you should totally roll the missions and blitz them on your higher level character, right? Because you could accomplish more. So this mission was for a nano, which is a very useful fixer nano, which immediately, well, I say immediately, it's got a 20-second cast time, but wherever you are, it transports you to the grid. So again, another quality of life, just transportation nano, which is really good to have. All right, let's see, what are the other missions that I have rolled already? This one, first of all, where is this one? Where? Oh, this is... Oh, it's not too far from Bliss. Okay, this mission was for what? Oh, this is for an adventure heal that I just saw pop up as I was scrolling through the missions, so I needed a cure. However, I can't cast this yet. BM 175. Yeah. Well, so it's not an emergency, but I definitely want to pick this up. And what is this mission here? It's definitely reachable. Oh, this is for another agent nano, Ruse of Terran. This is a concealment buff. So I do want to get both of these. I forget if these are both, what quality level missions these are. I think this Ruse of Terran is a really difficult one that I'm going to have to blitz. So we'll do that. We'll do those eventually. Actually, what I'd like to do with the rest of this episode, and let me just take a look at the time here. Yeah. So you just saw me run a regular mission. Oh, and by the way, in terms of tokens, we have now accumulated... I just upgraded this before I started recording. We've now accumulated 55 tokens, so our board is now like level 3, if you will. So I have a 3% experience and 60 health and 60 nano. So that's nice. That continues to get buffed. Oh, and I should really upgrade my... Well, that's also bad. It's at 21. What we're going to do is we are going to take a trip to Wailing Wastes. And we are going to go get that ring that I mentioned probably several episodes ago. So this ring is related to the Shadowlands. There are a series of quests, as I was saying, in the Shadowlands that allow you to get access that you need to complete in order to access, you know, the subsequent levels in the Shadowlands. And these quests get really involved and are really, especially the later quests, are quite long and elaborate and complicated. For this first zone, so the first zone you have access to in the Shadowlands is called Nascence, and then the second one is Elysium, or Elysium. You actually have direct access to Elysium just through, there are like portals that take you there, but there is still the quest in place that allows you to obtain a ring, and you can do that quest in the Shadowlands. However, the guy who gives you the ring also has a manifestation on regular Rubica, and for some reason he is down here at the Yodos camp in the Wailing Wastes. So we just wampa'd over here and we're just gonna fly down here. In order to do this quest, you need to give him these 4 items: the copper wire, small power supply, the circuit board, and the burnt out memory chip that you found in the subway. So if anything, get those 4 things from the subway. By the way, we're almost level 25. I still... Oh, we have stopped for some reason. I still never got the Ring of the Nucleus Basilisk, but you know what? I don't have the patience to go back and farm it. So too bad. We're just not gonna have it. We're not gonna be as powerful as I guess theoretically we could be. So yeah, so we're gonna go and hand in these items for the quest. Now, actually, the NPC that we talked to is this weird alien called Ergo, and he talks like it's a wall of text attacking you. So I'm gonna kind of click through it, but if you're interested in the lore, well, I mean, you should play this game, of course, but you can always pause and read through it if you want. But he talks a lot. Kind of like I'm doing right now, trying to fill time as we approach the Yodos camp. This region, by the way, is where I had died my first deaths, because it's fairly common to get missions in these areas, and these areas are covered in fairly aggressive mobs that are, I guess they must have been like level 40 or something, and so they kind of chewed through me a couple of times when I wasn't careful. Oh no, maybe it wasn't here. Anyways, it's something... No, I was able to escape these, fortunately. But yeah, these can be kind of tricky to deal with. By the way, on this map, which is a map that you can download that I mentioned earlier, you see here the number 50, 50, 50, 50. This is telling us that there are dynamobs. So these are like mini bosses that spawn in these areas. So this is a favorite area to go farm Dyna camps, right? Because there are a lot that are similar levels. Dyna mobs have special... There are many items that can only drop from Dyna mobs. And so it certainly happens that you might find people farming them, but you can also farm them if you're able to take on the said monsters. There are some weapons that drop that can only be gotten from Dyna mobs, Dyna bosses, I should say, and also from the bosses from team missions. Okay, so here is Ergo, Rubica, Guardian of Shadows. Hello, sir. Alright, I'm gonna turn off this parrot form because the head bob is driving me crazy. Alright, I'm gonna click through this. I'm not gonna like read it, but I am gonna click through it so that there is a record of it on YouTube if you're interested. Although unfortunately it's kind of scrolling through this text very slowly. It's very yes, it's very descriptive. Oh yeah, also it talks, for some reason, hail thee my master, right? Oh well, maybe a little too verbose. And he serves us, the master of light, apparently. So once we get to the Shadowlands, which I wouldn't mind, I think we'll spend some time there in around level 30 or 40. There is a basic story to the Shadowlands, which is that but it's a fairly simple story in that there's like some balance is upset, and there are sort of good people who work for good, and there's a faction that works, I guess, for evil. I mean, that's kind of an unfair comparison, but whatever. The clans are affiliated with the good people, and the Omnis are affiliated with the bad people. And so, you know, you end up doing a lot of work for one of these two factions. I honestly kind of forget in the lore where Ergo sits. Like, I don't know what this thing is like for Omni. Like, do Omni characters also get a talk about, like, they're the master of the light? I don't know. By the way, at any point here, I could click on give items and just give him the items, and he'll give me the ring, right? But, you know, for everyone's edification, we're going through this chat so that you could read it if you wanted to. So he's trying to convince me that I need to go to the Shadowlands, and yes, don't worry, we will go eventually to the Shadowlands. The Shadowlands, you could entirely level just by going in the Shadowlands. The Shadowlands are really good for the Shadowlands are very good for grinding, basically, because the mobs there are tougher and give more experience. And specifically, each zone has a special mob called hecklers, which is like people grind them a lot because in terms of time spent per fighting mobs, it is the most efficient source of experience in the game. In terms of loot, however, so there are like special Shadowlands weapons, and they can be quite powerful. But, you know, you're not getting like mission tokens, and a lot of dungeons have sort of fairly special drops, right? So you do want to come back to Rubicon, do some of the content here, because you're gonna want some of the items that are dropped. The other thing that you're not getting in the Shadowlands is, you know, you have to get your implants updated regularly and whatnot. Alright. This is getting interesting. Better let him continue? No, I'm sorry. I can't take it anymore. We've gotta get going here. This episode is going on too long already. Yeah, we're just gonna cut him off here. If you want to actually read the whole story, then I encourage you to come here and talk to Ergo yourself. And eventually he'll get to the point. So yeah, the Shadowlands is beautiful, for one thing. It's just a beautiful place to walk around. And I would like to spend a fair bit of time there with this character. Not grinding hecklers. I think I'll try to be more creative and just explore it, because nobody does that, and it's just a beautiful zone and just a lot of variety. So we'll definitely spend some time in the Shadowlands. Coming up soon, so we're about to be level 25. Alright, so they want... Alright, basically he's telling me go get these things. So I got these things already, so I think I've played along enough. Coming up soon, we're going to get level 25. I'm going to run another Alien Daily because we're finally going to unlock our next alien levels. And then we're also going to unlock access to the next dungeon, which is the Temple of Three Winds. I might wait a little bit before I go there. I'm going to run a few missions, I guess. Then we'll go to Temple of Three Winds, get the loot we need to get from there. And then, did we get the ring? Finally, we got the ring. Okay. What is the ring good for? Let's take a look at the ring while Ergo talks. Insipid ring of the artillery artillery unit. So it buffs like everything by one, right? Every ability, every skill, experience, ACs. It just buffs everything, right? So it's actually not a bad ring. I mean, it's better than what we were wearing here. Add projectile damage too, not very useful. From the Temple of Three Winds, we are going to get some pretty good rings, so then we might have to decide which one is better in the moment. But just with the trickle down from these abilities, this is pretty nice. Plus, I mean, we've got add experience, so that's, you know, you always want to have that. Okay, are you done? Is he done? Alright, you know what? Goodbye. We're done. So I think that's going to be... Oh, false provision adventure terminated. Let's turn it back on again. So, yeah, I think that's going to be pretty much it for this episode. I wanted you to see where we got this ring. I think coming up next, I'm going to run a few of these random missions. Keep adding to my nano collection. So what I'm hoping to get is... for my fixer collection, I would like to get the next heal over time and the best run speed buff that I can get. In terms of, there's a lot of agent nanos that I just haven't gotten. Like, I need to make sure I have my damage buff, which I still don't have for my agent. That's the main thing I need. For adventure, I would like to get a damage shield, but it's not a big deal. The main thing I need is to get a heal. This heal that I've rolled for is too high level, so maybe I'll try to quickly roll a lower level heal. If I can get an adventure heal, then I'll feel pretty confident starting to roll much higher level missions, because like now the missions you saw, I'm just steamrolling through those enemies, right? I could take on missions with like much higher quality, much higher level mobs if I had a self heal, right? And then I also, now that my nano skills are increasing, I need to make sure I get all the rest of the false profession nanos, right? So I still have to collect a bunch of those. Yeah, there's just like, as an agent, you basically need all of the nanos, right? So I've got a lot of nanos I need to still collect. And it looks like the client has unfortunately crashed, so that's a convenient time to end this episode. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch up with you later. Take care.